What's up, guys? I'm back. I kind of stopped making what ifs. If you guys heard me from a couple of my videos where I was talking about how to do stuff, I tried to do as many what ifs as I could by doing it, but I was unable to, like, completely. I was tired every night and all that, and I'm not trying to do what ifs during the night too much. But I'm finally able to do what ifs, I swear to God. Okay. It's only 7. Better not bother me right now, I swear. But yeah, so I forgot who commented this because it was like a week ago and I forget a lot of stuff. But this is what if Deku was a villain. This will be my villain one, I guess. I'll just call it villain. No, I'll call it what if Deku had darkness as a quirk. So, darkness limitations. Oh yeah, I'm stop making overpowered characters from now on. Like, I deleted like my Senji one. I'm redoing that one and all that. And yeah, I'm playing the game because I haven't played it in a while. What's up, doggo? But yeah. So powers, what was it again? So he will be born without a quirk. Now you ask me, why would he have a quirk then if he had darkness? So he would grow up sort of the same. But what would happen instead is that he would get attacked by the sludge villain. He would still survive, but whenever he goes chasing, he does chase after, Bakugo to help him with another second sludge villain attack. But All Might thinks that it'll still be too dangerous for him since he isn't strong enough to wield one for all. So he decides that he's not gonna give him the quirk, and Deku would go into the hero exam thing again. But whenever he's fighting robots, he would be impaled by one of the robots that was broken on the arm, but it was still functional, so its arm piece was really sharp. So whenever this happens, he would die and all that. But after a while, he would wake up, looking at his hands, which you would see are moving sort of around. He would look up, seeing the same doctor he did as a kid, and a man with no face, and all this. They would say, "We saved you," and all that, and this is your new master all for one, and all that. But what happened is that they turned him into a perfected Nomu. A perfected Nomu, as I think some people should know, is Kurogiri. Kurogiri is the teleportation dude, which is a friend of Zawa and a person that went to UA also. Quick scroll. But they took his body and they put a mixture of quirks that created complex quirk. They were originally gonna turn him into a mid-tier Nomu or like a low-tier Nomu. They weren't sure how much this one body can use. But that's whenever the doctor came up with the idea to give him a quirk that he has been working on. And this way that this quirk works is that he still needs his memories, so the quirk can be stronger than it normally would. But they twisted its memories, you could say, a bit. So, what he thinks is his past is a terrible past and a full bunch of suffering, more than he already had. So, he has a different aspect on the world and all that. And what would happen is that he originally thought about how his quirk was originally just darkness, where it doesn't seem like they just gave him quirk. But so this quirk runs on emotions. Of course, anger does power it more and all that, but anger also has its downfalls. Anger makes it more powerful, but it's way slower and all that. If you're calm, it is like neutral. If he is not angered, but he's surprised, his power would become really weak. Like a little child having it and all that. Of course, his body will be sort of mutated to withstand this quirk, as the doctor had to do this since, and eventually his philosophy is that eventually quirks will become too powerful for a human, and that's why he became a villain. But after all this explanation of his quirk that I just gave you, he will be introduced to the gang, which right now the news of Stain has not been out, so Toga, Dobby, Twice, and all the other villains and heroes, or villains, are not there, since those ones were influenced by Stain. So Stain has not shown up, that means none of them shown up yet. So he would be pretty much the original members of them. Right now, he's instructed that they have a couple months till the sports festival and the USJ, as they had information on him. Since creating a high-end Nobu does take a long process, the timeline is around, let me think, I'll say a week before they get to the USJ. And the Villain League has got the information on this. So they would be preparing while Deku is instructed for these two, or this 1 week, to train with his quirk, which he does not have any natural ability to control. Since he is still Deku, he is nervous while battling, and they thought that Kurogiri would be the best spar since his quirk doesn't really hurt people and all that, and he can protect himself. So Deku is trying to train, but whenever Kurogiri's portals get next to him, he would freak out and his power would weaken a lot, which he would pretty much fall prey, and he'd get back up and all that. So this 1 week training would do him good because he is not a normal human and he can withstand quite a bit of hits, you could say, because he is modified to have a quirk. What Deku has noticed about his body is that it's not normal anymore, which the League has not noticed since they don't examine him that much and all that. But whenever the USJ happens, he would be instructed to kind of watch and sit back and don't jump right into it. So he would be in the back of the USJ while he would see everybody of 1A, which he would recognize Uraraka, as she was the girl touching robots and making them float and all that. And he would have heard and all that, and what would be happening is that he would just be looking at her and she would be attacked by a villain and all that, which he would have an instinct to try to help him, but he would be held back as he is a servant one for all. So Deku has tiered emotions right now, and this is a side effect of a high-end nomu. Oh, high-end. Have I been saying high-end? That's like the perfected nomus, because high-end nobles or nomus are like Hood from the manga. So yeah. But, so right now, Deku is unstable, and he would look at his hand, and he would create he would create a shadow, and this shadow, he measures it by how big it is how powerful he would be. So the size of it is around, let me say, what would be a good size to compare it to? A football size. Yeah. A football sit-up upwards. And all that, and he looks at that and he thinks that's pretty bad. It's not as bad as whenever he's scared, because usually it's only barely the size of my hand, he thinks. So he would be in the back calming down, but while in the back, what would happen is that, I'll say, he does have a mask on and it's covering his whole face, but Bako would see him and charge at him saying, "What you doing back here, villain?" And he would go throw an explosion, which Deku would have seen him, and what he would have did is Deku would have been engulfed by portals and would have been teleported away by Kurogiri, since he's instructed to keep him safe until he gets a handle of his quirk, since it could be powerful enough to even rival One for All or All Might. Oh my god, they're talking about Snickers in the background, really? Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, so been teleported away, and he would drop down next to a villain goes by Blade, and Blade would reach in his pocket and he would pull out a weapon, specifically a knife, pretty much just a combat knife, and he would hand it to Deku, saying, "If you can't use your quirk, at least use a weapon it might make you a little more useful. Deku would take this weapon. And he would be looking nervous while holding it. But that's whenever Blade would slap him in the back and tell him to go forward and fight. And Deku would have a sort of confidence, like, get into him, and he would have went in, and he wouldn't do much. He would just kind of be back up, I'd say. But I would say in this battle, he would somehow get face to face with Aizawa, which Aizawa would have his canceling quirk on him, which he sees he's not really using the quirk throughout the battle, so he'd stop. And Aizawa would take out his own knife and go to stab at him, which whenever this happens, Deku would instantly kind of curl up and like kind of freak out for a moment. But in this freak out, his body would disperse into pieces, you could say, pieces of darkness. So, yeah. After this happens, Aizawa would be confused and wondering, is this his quirk? Is it not a battle quirk, it's an evasion quirk? And he says, no matter, I got this, and he would cancel the quirk, and he would have, like, not stab him, but yeah, stab him in the chest. Not in his heart or anything, just like missing all the vital organs, I would just say, somehow, miraculously. I don't know, it's my hero, ask them. But yeah, so he would wake up, and this would be a day later, and he wakes up and he's looking at his chest, and what he would normally thought there would be a scar if he would have survived, but no, what he has on him is nothing at all. Since he was going to become just like a Nomu, they were going for a mid-range Nomu, so they got added Regeneration to him, which his Regeneration does have its flaws. It's not really ultimately Regeneration like normal mid-tier Nomus are. What it is that, like losing he can survive unlike normal people. Like, if he would have got chopped in half for some reason, he wouldn't die instantly, and if they could stop the bleeding in time, maybe 2-3 months later he can come back from it. But yeah. So right now, while Deku is being told to train for 3 months, he's also told about how, since there wasn't much about your quirk, and quirks have been able to spot, like, redoing itself, like somebody can have the same quirk and all that, and I don't think Aizawa would notice you have the same quirk, since he probably thinks you can only dodge and all that with your quirk. But if somebody in the sports festival gets kicked out of UA or something, you would be joining Deku and all that. So you should prepare yourself to go to UA. And yeah, but you'll be told to train for these next months, this month, and he would. during this training, Deku would have his blade and all that, and he would be trained by Blade, and since Blade was the only person from the USJ that didn't get captured and didn't take any damage at all, and I'd say he fended off, you know, what's his name? Dinky, Momo, and Ijiro. Yeah, he fended off those guys, which I'm pretty sure, and he withstand electricity. So yeah, so Blade would be the trainer for Deku for these next 3 months, or 1 month, what am I talking about? And yeah, it is a month. See you guys on the next video.